Call the Senate Judiciary Committee meeting to order. And we'll start by having Senator Hatchett, if you will please open us up in a word of prayer.
Absolutely. Let's pray.
Let me get your mic on first.
Let us pray. Dear Heavenly Father, thank you for this opportunity to gather. Thank you for this opportunity that you've placed us in. We ask for your wisdom and guidance as we move forward through this session. And we ask that we never confuse the will of the people for the will of God. In Jesus' name I pray. Amen.
Thank you for doing that. Welcome to Senate Judiciary. Same room, similar late hour, but some new faces. Just for planning purposes, we'll have a standing reservation for our meeting every Monday at 2:15, a little bit earlier on Mondays, and then 4:45 on Wednesdays as we're here today. We have two things to do today on the agenda. The first is the adoption of the rules for the committee, and these were sent out in advance to members of the committee. They're also in your folder. Does anybody have any questions or comments on the rules? And they're also the same rules we had last session as well. I'll take a motion to adopt the rules.
Move do pass.
Motion do pass by Senator Cowsert. Is there a second? Second by Senator Kirkpatrick. All in favor, please raise your hand. Any opposed? Passed unanimously. The only bill we have today is Senate Bill 9. I'll ask Senator Anderson to come forward. And I guess it's best we put you number 6 here. And we are working off of LC 412802S. Is that the one you have as well?
Mr. Chairman, LC 412802S.
Is that the one everybody has in their folder? All right. Tell us about your bill.
Mr. Chairman, first of all, I want to congratulate you on your chairmanship. Look forward to working with you.
Thank you. Sucking up doesn't help any,
Okay.
but thank you.
Well, Mr. Chairman, members of the committee, I want to say right now that this is probably the closest I'll ever be a Madlock or Perry Mason. One call, that's all for the people, whatever. But anyway, I just want to present you a bill, Senate Bill 9 today. And it's the Augusta Circuit, splitting Augusta Circuit. This is not a new bill. I mean, it's a new bill, but it's not a new situation. We've been talking about this for over 20, 30 years plus about splitting the circuit. We also, when we put this bill together, we wanted to make sure that every county basically pays what they're paying right now. We want to make it fair to where nothing's really changed in the amount that they're having to pay. And also that the only reason that we was able to present this bill right now is that I asked for a study back last year and the reason why we had a judge that retired, and it opened up a vacancy so that we could possibly have this to happen now. So I had a study made, and the study came back that it would be ideal for Columbia County to go out on its own with 3 judges. But let me back up first, though. We always represent, we come up here to represent our people. And I asked, and that's what I'm here doing today. I have chairman and commissioners here, and one of the commissioners here from Columbia County. They gave me a resolution, 100%, all 5 members, asking for this study and asking for this possible division of the circuit. Also, we got a resolution from Richmond County. They also in favor of it. So I'm here on their request possibly to try to make this happen. So I just wanted to say that also. But 3 judges would stay in Columbia County, which reside in Columbia County now. Also, Richmond County asked for the 5th judge. It's in the bill for them to be able to have the 5th judge. Everybody would, like I said, pay what they're paying now. And also, each county would pay for the senior judges that's already retired, and there's senior judges now. Their commitment to keep paying that as they have retired. But then, if this takes effect July the 1st, then it'll be whoever's in the Augusta Circuit, they will be responsible for the Augusta Circuit, and in Columbia County, they will be responsible for any judges that's in Columbia County. And I have Representative Fleming here also, if we got any questions. But I mean, I would just like to present the bill. It's a great bill for the great people, the great state of Georgia. And I'd like to be able to, approve the bill, and we move forward and do what the people want us to do. And I'm gonna stop right there. And, the study, let me say this, the study said that we would be perfect with 3 judges in Columbia County. And like I said, that we would make it where Richmond County would get the 5th judge. But I'm gonna stop right there and see if any questions or.
I have a couple questions. You mentioned that the Board of Commissioners in Columbia County voted 5-0
Right.
in support of this. And you said there was also a vote in support of this from Richmond County. What was that vote in Richmond County?
If I recall correctly, that vote was 6-1.
If I may, Mr. Chairman, there were 2 votes. One was unanimous, 10-0, and in the second vote they had, there might have been 1 or 2 commissioners missing, but there was only 1 negative vote on the second vote.
Okay.
The first vote was to do it and instruct the resolution be drawn up in support, and when they voted on the resolution, there was only 1 negative vote, as I understand.
Okay. And I know you don't have a mic on you yet, Representative Fleming. I'll have you repeat that when you come up. But you said it was a 10-0 vote in Richmond County the first time. The second time there was 1 person that dissented. Okay. And so this bill only impacts the Augusta Circuit, which includes Columbia, Burke, and Richmond counties. Is that correct?
Correct.
Is the reason this is not a local bill is because our code sets forth the judicial circuits in our state.
Right.
And you mentioned that as far as the judges that are there now, there's currently 8 judges for this circuit with 1 vacancy, so 7
Right.
judges and 1 vacancy.
Right.
And the judges we have now will all remain Superior Court judges, correct?
Yep.
No one's losing their judgeship. But we will have a new district attorney appointed for Columbia County, is that correct?
Correct.
And so the current district attorney for this circuit will remain the district attorney for
For the Augusta
Richmond and Burke County, the
Right.
Augusta Circuit. Do you know the population of Columbia County and Richmond County?
The population in Columbia County is 170, around
Around, okay.
170, and the population in Richmond is close to 200.
200,000 and 170,000. Have any questions for the author of the bill from the committee? Who is Mike 1? Is that you, Elena?
Yeah.
All right. Senator Parent?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Senator, has the Judicial Council's administrative office weighed in on the proposal?
Yeah, I'm gonna ask Representative Fleming to come.
Yeah, if you want to go and join him at the mic, is that way everybody can hear you that's watching. Sit at 7 so you guys have some distance.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Senator, in answer to your question, there have been 2 separate studies, or at least looks at this by them. In 2018, Senator Jones requested that they do a study. In summary, the study found that there were 4 judges in Columbia County, 4 in Richmond County, and there needed to be 3 in Columbia County and 5 in Richmond County for the split to work well. What we happened, as mentioned by Senator Anderson, is that we had one judge retire in Columbia County, which made 3 in Columbia County. The governor has yet to appoint that 5th judge, but the bill provides for the 5th judge to be in Richmond County. Senator Anderson asked in December for them to update that. They sent a report back saying that the number of judges would be ideal.
Would it be possible to get a copy of that report?
I have it right here if you'd like it.
That'd be wonderful. Thank you.
Mr. Chairman, would you like me to hand this to your staff to be passed
Sure.
out? I'd be happy to do it.
You have
So tell
copies
me.
for everyone?
Yes, sir. There's
Okay.
enough here.
Senator Calvert?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. For either of you gentlemen that might know, this study, that's, who is that by?
The Administrative Office of the Courts, Judicial Council of Georgia.
Is there some, magic number of population to create a circuit? I know you're talking about per judge, but I notice, some are smaller than others, especially in the
Yes,
rural
sir.
parts.
In round numbers, because caseload can matter some, but in round numbers, it's 50,000 people per judge, thereabout. So you always want a circuit to have 2 judges for conflict purposes. So if you get much below 100,000 people, you're starting to get on the small side. There are some that are smaller than 100,000 in Georgia. Daltrey, Albany is below there, I believe, and there might be one other, but most of them are the very large counties, like in the metro Atlanta area, or counties in the 150 to 200, 250,000 range, if that makes sense.
It does. Can I ask one follow-up? I'm a little confused of which of these costs are borne by the state
Yes, sir.
versus the county. I know there's some detail in the bill, but does the state pay for the district attorney or the judge, or is that all? I know there are county supplements for the judges anyway.
Yes, sir. The way that works is that the state of Georgia has a base salary for all the Superior Court judges, which I'm going to, off of memory, say in the 130-ish range, give or take a little bit. Counties, judicial districts can give supplements if they choose. These 3 counties do. The bill keeps it as is. The supplements would not change for the judges. Each county would pay their prorated share when they split to keep it the same. On the DA side, there is also a base salary which is slightly below that of Superior Court judges, as memory recalls, and the local governments can also pay a supplement there. These counties do. The bill provides that that does not change either for the DA, who will be in Augusta, Richmond County, Burke County, or the new DA in Columbia County. Now, along with that, our code requires that, of course, a judge gets certain staff, like secretaries and all. There are no new judgeships created here, so all we're dealing with is a public defender and the prosecuting attorney. And with the DA gets, I believe, 1 administrative assistant, 2 investigators. The public defender, of course, gets their salary too from the state, like the DA does, and also gets 1 investigator and 1 administrative assistant paid for by the state. After that, your assistant DAs are added 1 per judge, and then whatever that number is, 2 more on top of that. Many of the urban, suburban districts that are large, as you know, supplement that. So it's really a joint cost sharing between the state and the counties to pay for the additional staff for the public defender and the DA.
I have another question. The bill has an effective date of July 1 this year.
Yes, sir.
How are we going to manage getting all the cases transferred over in that short time period, relatively short time period? And also, how will it work as far as the appointment of a new district attorney? If the bill is effective on January 1st, how can we make sure that there's someone's in that office and can run that office from day 1?
Your second question first, if I may, Mr. Chairman. Of course, the bill provides that the governor, in the creation of a new DA, will appoint that DA. And my anticipation would be that the governor would have his traditional interviews and make a selection. The selection could be done before July the 1st, and then the DA is sworn in on July the 1st. So preparations could be made before then, and the DA sworn in on the date the circuit is created. As to your first question, as far as when it would occur, There have already been discussions, I believe, with the governor's office about calling the bill early whenever the legislature passes it and going ahead and signs it. So you would have a 3-month or so period for your clerks to divvy up the cases, for example. A case in Columbia County, a Columbia County case that happens to be with a judge that resides in Richmond County would have to be transferred over and vice versa. So after talking with judges and clerks, the thought process would be that would be enough time to do that.
Okay, Senator Parent has another question.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Thank you for providing this memo. I skimmed it, and that raised a couple other questions, if you indulge me. So I want to make sure I understood what you said before about the number of judges. On this second page in the analysis, so it looks the Columbia County workload, a 2-judge county, they would qualify for 1 judge, so that's your 3, right?
Senator, where are you looking on the document, ma'am? I'm sorry.
Under the 2019 Columbia County workload analysis on page 2?
Yes, ma'am. When I refer to ideal, it's those first 2 sentences. The table above shows the workload analysis of Columbia County. The judge year value is within the ideal range set by the Judicial Council policy, and that is the 3 judges you see above there.
Right. And then for the 2019 Richmond and Burke County workload,
Yes, ma'am.
does this say that it has 5 and it should get 6?
Well, what you're beginning to see there is you are probably familiar with the process. The House Judiciary Committee just yesterday passed a bill adding a new judge in the Blue
Yes.
Ridge Circuit. So what Richmond County and Burke County would be is the Augusta Judicial Circuit. They would now get in line with all those other counties to see where they ranked to getting a 6th judge. And I think that they would be in there somewhere. I don't know how close to the top they would be, but eventually, particularly if Richmond County grows, they probably would be due a 6th judge eventually.
Okay, so I have some concern that we don't know about that because it does say here that that would make the workload in Richmond and Burke a lot higher than in Columbia based on the number of judges.
Well, I'm depending on the sentence there that says that it would be ideal for Columbia County, and I'm not sure if I see where you say it would not be good for Richmond or Burke.
Well, it says judge year value is 1.4 here, and 1.2 means they
Correct.
would, right? So it's a
So
lot, it looks to me.
I see where you're
Right,
going now.
yeah,
So
yeah.
what you will find, if you did a study of the 49 judicial circuits across the state, you would, if 1.0 is ideal for a judge, you're going to find some at 0.8. You're going to find many at 1.2. You're going to find many at 1.4. When you get up, in my experience, in those higher 1.8, 1.9, that's when you rank high enough for us to create a new judgeship for somebody to get in line for one. So even though 1.0 or 1.2, whatever it is, may be the ideal range, almost nobody hits the ideal. You just want to be close to it. And so Richmond County and Burke County are probably going to be quicker get a 6th judge than if they remain in the circuit with Columbia County, if that makes sense.
That does. Can I ask one more question, Mr. Chairman? Sure. And I can be quiet. So on the last page, it
Yes, ma'am.
says, this information only represents the actual workload values and not the administrative, logistical, budgetary, or other costs that may be occurred and are required to be analyzed before the Judicial Council will consider recommending a circuit boundary alteration. So this is not like a recommendation, it's not an analysis, it's just sort of a memo
So
on
what they
workload.
did, Senator, is that the 2018 study that Senator Jones requested was that full analysis. And the biggest problem there was the fact that Columbia County had 4 judges and they needed 3. What this reflects is that now we do have the right number of judges in Columbia County to be our own judicial circuit. And what was not looked at probably is the fact that, and I think that makes a reference, there's a lot of funding issues on the local level that have to be done. The counties, Richmond County voting almost unanimously, Columbia County voting unanimously, have, in my opinion, recognized that they're going to have to make some changes in their funding, as do all local governments, but they're willing to do that, and they've endorsed the idea.
Yeah, I was just trying to ascertain, we have this body that advises us, and I was just trying to ascertain if they had made a recommendation.
Well, the 2020 numbers, you can't make a recommendation off of, as they tell us. And in fact, the Judicial Council, Administrative Office of Courts, as I understand it, have said we're not going to make any recommendations now because during COVID, as you know, no cases were tried. So all the numbers as far as caseloads in 20 are not worthy of analysis, I guess you would say, for this issue. So if you ask them right now to analyze that, they're going to tell you that they can't.
Thank you.
Any other questions for the author of the bill or the House member that joined us today? Who's number 10? Senator Jones.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I have a question looking at page 4.
Of the bill, Senator?
Yes,
Yes, sir.
on line 77 through 84. And I may be missing it, but would the author of the bill be willing to accept a friendly amendment in there as far as the current district attorney? Because he is not mentioned as far as also being stated for the Augusta Judicial Circuit.
We specifically asked Legislative Council about that question, if I may, Senator, and they said that you're not changing the district attorney of Augusta and Burke County, so it would be superfluous to put it in there. Now, would it cause harm to put it in there? I'd have to ask Legislative Council that question, but they advise that we not do that. In other words, the person who is a district attorney in Augusta and Burke County is not going to change. The only DA change will be if you create a new circuit in Columbia that the governor will have to name a new one.
But what was their opinion as far as it causing any harm to it? It
We
wouldn't.
have-
Because I'm just going by the Covey Judicial Circuit. If you remember when they tried to do their judicial split, they did go ahead and name that district attorney.
We have legislative counsel on Zoom here if you want him to address that
That'd be
directly,
fine.
Harold, too.
Yeah, Mr. Chairman, thank you.
See if we can. It's the first time trying this. Go ahead, Julius.
All right. It's okay. I mean, it would be superfluous to put it in there, but it will cause no harm. So it's okay to include it if the committee wishes to do so.
Hearing that, does the author or Chairman Fleming, do you have any concern about including that at this point?
Your Honor, anytime you make an amendment and Legislative Council doesn't draw it up, you always have that question, do we come back and find out later that it's something wrong? I know it works now. You know, if we word it right, it'll probably work there. I think my preference would be not to, since it's not needed and it is superfluous.
Okay. Do you have another question?
I don't have it.
Any other questions from the committee? No one else has signed up to speak on the bill. Is there anybody else that want to be heard in the room on the bill? We do have another question. Do you have a question or are you making a motion? Anybody else want to be heard on the bill? This time we'll take a motion. I'll recognize Dr. Watson, one of our newest members of the committee, coming in making motions. Go ahead.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. It is my honor indeed to make a motion to do pass for Senator Lee Anderson's bill, SB 9 LC 412802S.
We have a motion to pass by Senator Watson. Do we have a second? Second. Have a second by Senator Kennedy. Any amendments? Seeing none, all those in favor of the motion, please raise your hand. Got the count. All opposed? The motion carries. Thank you so much.
Thank you, committee, and thank you for doing the great job with the great people of the great state of Georgia.
I appreciate that. Sorry to call you in during happy hour time, Senator. For those of y'all that came in a little late, just for the committee to know, we are going to have this time block every Wednesday, 4:45, but we will have an earlier time on Mondays at 2:15 for our meetings. The challenge of Mondays is we have a hard stop 1 hour in. Hopefully for a while we can have a hard stop 1 hour in for these meetings. You know how that goes. We get closer to the end of session, so we'll do our best to manage that time and do as much as we can on Mondays too. So with that, we're adjourned. Thank you.